The Phoenix Suns have a massive problem, and it's clear as day, as it's been displayed on multiple games, as the Phoenix Suns have put themselves in a very treacherous spot here, heading closer and closer to the playoffs with continuous losses and only a stronger schedule ahead. How will this impact this team, and what will they ultimately be ahead of getting into the off season or potentially even not making the playoffs? We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support in kind of these dire situations since the post trade deadline. We had a lot of support, obviously, with the trade rumors, which I really do appreciate, but we've also had a lot of recent support with the Suns still being kind of disappointing since the trade deadline as well. So I really do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing because it hasn't been some great times and you guys still have been tuning in. But without further ado, let's dive in. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and let's get into the news because honestly, words cannot even describe this feeling anymore that the Phoenix Suns give me game after game after game as I stay up and watch these games. Let you guys know, obviously, I am on the East Coast, so when these games are going on, it is very late here over here, and obviously, Phoenix Suns are not giving us anything great, realistically, worthy of watching for staying up late, which is very disappointing as well as once again, they fall in another game, and unfortunately for this Suns team, we do know that they do have the strongest schedule ahead, and now coming into March and April really gets into the difficult part. And they struggled in those easier games versus the Spurs, the Bulls, or they beat the Bulls, excuse me, but the Raptors, the Grizzlies, and stuff like that. And now they're going to be taking on some even more tough teams like the Timberwolves. And fortunately for the Suns, they were pretty dominant in the first half here. That is kind of the telltale with this Suns team. A really start offensive push from the team in the first half, but once that third quarter hits, the kryptonite quarter, it completely unravels for this Suns team. Kevin Durant led this Suns team in the third quarter with 9 points being the leading scorer, and that was it for this Suns team in the third. Everybody else was basically non-existent, and once the fourth quarter hit, like Mike Budenholzer kind of said in his post game, the team felt flat. The team was basically giving up at that point, and it was just basically over. We saw the absolute disgraceful display, unfortunately, of Jay McDaniels hitting a three, then Julius Randle getting a nice dunk, and then absolutely then Ryan Dunn missing the pass, and then Jane McDaniels getting another slam, in which the Timberwolves were just on the court, just celebrating, having a parade on the court, which was just disrespectful, honestly, in my eyes, to basically witness as a Suns fan, because you don't want to be seeing that happening on your home court. Come on, guys. Not blaming the boys, but it's just sad, and I'm not blaming Ryan Dunn either on that bad pass. Like, unfortunately, it was tough, but that's just ridiculous. We want to look at the stats like I have pulled up. Kind of sorry for getting into that rant. We saw Booker have 17, Beal have 18, Durant lead the way with 26. He played really solid. Tyus Jones was very impactful off the bench. I want to give credit to Tyus Jones. He had 10 points. He had 8 earlier on, only scored 2 in the second half. But for a first half for Tyus Jones playing this bench role, he has been really successful. Shot 100% today for the Phoenix Suns and 100% from 3-point range. And when he is coming off the bench, I think that's when he's in his best position. And I think if he does want to stay long term with this Suns team, or if the Suns team want to continue to try to push to win, having Tyus Jones off the bench will definitely be successful. But unfortunately, just not a great offensive night tonight for Devin Booker, who had a lot of turnovers as well for the Phoenix Suns. 6 turnovers, had some bad passes. I'll be honest with you, he did not have a great game, but unfortunately, not a lot of great players also played great. And Ryan Dunn didn't get the most minutes tonight, only 11, but he struggled offensively. And a lot of people want to be like, oh, there's some defensive flaws with Ryan Dunn, but at least with seeing some defensive mindset with Ryan Dunn, it can be nice. It's just tough. We saw Grayson Allen get 2 blocks, which I do want to give him credit for, as much as I've critiqued Grayson Allen and his 25% shooting from the 3-point range tonight, which is not spectacular. I do want to credit him for his defense because he did play pretty solid. Nick Richards did get hurt earlier on, but he did play 25 minutes, did finish with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and 4 points, but overall, not a perfect performance from him. Mason Plumlee got into a little bit of action early on, 4 points, had a decent amount of stats, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. But once again, Mason Plumlee is not going to solve everything. And Royce O'Neal tonight, over 5 from the field, over 3 from 3 point range. That is not going to cut it. 0 points, minus 15. Did get some boards for the Suns, though. 5 rebounds and 1 assist and 1 block, playing some solid defense. But just a tough performance once again. Bol, not really a great offensive performance either, only 11 rebounds. The Suns, like we mentioned, played good in the first half, had that great momentum, and then second half just absolutely fell flat. No offense to show at all. Third quarter, the Timberwolves just completely took over, and then in the fourth, it's just over. And that's the thing with this team. It's just you watch the Suns play, right? You watch them go out there, you watch them play their offense, their lack of defense because there is no defense, and you have to critique it. And it's not just the players' fault because obviously this team isn't built to win. We've gone over it multiple times. The roster that is built around this team is just not it. If you want to look at the Timberwolves roster, right? If we want to look at who they have, obviously Anthony Edwards went berserk, 44 points, but look at what they have on this roster, right? Mike Conley, a playmaking point guard who can set up the offense. Anthony Edwards, heliocentric offensive scorer. Julius Randle, another guy who can score down low. Jay McDaniels, a guy who can play some 3-and-D defense, be some size on the wing. Naz Reid, pretty solid interior defender, also can stretch the floor, play some defense, right? Then you look at their other impactful defenders, players. Dante DiVincenzo, offensive juggernaut, similar to kind of like a Grayson Allen for the Suns. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, he did not play great offensively, but defensive, look at that plus 11 with a 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. That's what you like to see from a performance from Jalen Clark. The Suns don't have a Jalen, well, they have Ryan Dunn, but besides that, they don't have any more of these extra defenders that this Minnesota Timberwolves team has. Like I said, the roster construction with this Suns team is at fault 100%. The rotations, and who actually gets to play and what roster lineups we actually get to see with this Suns team as well. Why are we seeing Booker, Beal, Grayson Allen, Ryan Dunn, and Mason Plumlee out there? I don't like that lineup at all. 3 scorers and Mason Plumlee with 1 defender and a you're playing Ryan Dunn at the power forward. I don't like that. It's very confusing. Coach Mike Budenholzer hasn't been perfect, obviously, hasn't been great, obviously. We know from seeing the front office and what they've built around Kevin and Devin, it hasn't been great either. And for the Phoenix Suns, obviously, with the rumors and stuff from this afternoon, which we are going to be making some videos on coming out for you guys tomorrow, detailing the news about Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of questions and just a lot of discussions surfacing around this Phoenix Suns team as obviously the rest of the season doesn't look that bright, right? They're falling more and more games behind and out of the play-in. A team like the Blazers, who is, behind them, is creepily winning games that could honestly pass the Suns and maybe even put them into the 12th spot, which would even make it even increasingly harder to make the play-in. Meanwhile, the playoffs, and then ultimately that's only going to spark the more discussions for these trades and all these rumors and stuff like that that people are just going to put out there, which is not only just going to piss off just us, but it's also going to piss off Durant and Booker themselves just having to hear all this nonsense when all they want to do is just play basketball and win and succeed in Phoenix. So ultimately, it's just an utter disgrace that we have to witness this. It's just a massive issue going on. No defensive identity here at Phoenix, a coaching problem, a front office problem, and clearly a roster creation problem as the most expensive team, a team in the second apron with no future draft capital, is going to be on the verge of missing the playoffs, meanwhile possibly even missing the play-in when a player like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should not even be in contention of missing, and even Bradley Beal not even missing the playoffs at this point of their career because of how dominant they are as superstars. They should be on teams that are in playoff contention, at least that matter, if not teams competing for an NBA championship. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting second half of this season for the Phoenix Suns as not only are they seemingly getting worse with losing these games, but obviously these games are going to get increasingly tougher with the matchup. So it's going to be a tough road ahead for this Phoenix Suns team as they look to gear up to try to make the playoffs. We're hoping that they obviously do, but it's looking like the writing on the wall is that they will not, and that it's going to be a tough offseason with a lot of discussions to deal with this team. And honestly, a complete reshape of this roster, which is going to be a wild discussion. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, how you guys ultimately feel. Like I said, we're going to be having the news videos coming out tomorrow, so make sure to stay up to date on the Phoenix Suns news and let us your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Catch you guys in the next video and have a great rest of your night. Go Phoenix Suns.